The deep silence of space was broken only by the soft hum of machines aboard the exploration vessel Curiosity. Captain Mark Thompson stood at the bridge's main window, his eyes fixed on the endless darkness ahead. The ship had been tracking a strange signal for the past 3 days, something unlike anything they had seen before. "Captain, the signal is getting stronger," said James, the ship's communication officer. His fingers moved quickly across the glowing screen in front of him. "Whatever is sending it, we're getting close." Mark nodded, his hand rubbing the gray stubble on his chin. After 15 years in space, he had learned to trust his gut. And right now, it was telling him something wasn't right. The signal didn't match any known human patterns, and it was too regular to be natural space noise. "All stations, report status," Mark called out, his voice firm but calm. One by one, the crew members spoke up. Engineering was running smooth, weapons were ready, even though they hoped not to need them. And life support was working perfectly. The Curiosity was humanity's best exploration vessel, built to handle whatever space could throw at them. At least, that's what they thought. "Sir, I have visual contact," Anna, the sensor operator, announced. Her voice had an edge of excitement. "Putting it on the main screen now." The large screen at the front of the bridge lit up, showing what looked like a ship. But it wasn't like any ship Mark had ever seen. It was huge, at least 3 times the size of the Curiosity, with a strange purple glow coming from what they guessed were its engines. The ship wasn't moving, just floating in space. "Life signs?" Mark asked, leaning forward in his chair. "Yes, sir, but they're weak. The ship appears to be running on emergency power," Anna replied, her eyes never leaving her screen. Mark thought for a moment. As an exploration vessel, they had a duty to help others in trouble. But as captain, he had to think about his crew's safety first. "Send out a general greeting, all frequencies," he ordered. "Let's see if anyone's home." James sent the message and they waited. Seconds turned into minutes with no response. Mark was about to order a closer approach when the alien ship suddenly lit up like a Christmas tree. "Sir, we're being scanned," Anna shouted, her fingers flying over her controls. "Their power levels are rising fast." Before Mark could react, a voice filled the bridge. It wasn't human. It sounded almost musical, but with a cold, mechanical edge that made everyone's skin crawl. "Primitive vessel detected. Species, human. Technology level, Class 3. Threat level, minimal. Initiating first contact protocols." Mark's face hardened. He didn't like being called primitive, and he liked the way they said minimal threat even less. "Keep our weapons charged but don't target them," he ordered quietly. "Let's see what they want." A figure appeared on their screen. It looked almost human, but its skin was a pale blue, and its eyes were too large, too dark. When it spoke, its mouth didn't quite match the words. "Human vessel, this is Observer First Class of the Collective. We require assistance. Our ship has suffered damage from a solar storm." Mark exchanged looks with his crew. The ship hadn't shown any sign of damage from their scans. Something wasn't adding up. "This is Captain Mark Thompson of the Earth exploration vessel Curiosity. We're willing to help. What kind of assistance do you need?" The alien's expression didn't change. "We require direct boarding access to your vessel to collect necessary materials for repairs." Warning bells went off in Mark's head. No damaged ship would ask for boarding rights before even discussing what they needed. He had seen enough pirate tricks in the outer colonies to know when something smelled wrong. "I'm afraid that's not possible," Mark replied firmly. "We can send over supplies once you tell us what you need, or we can tow you to the nearest station." The alien's face changed then, just slightly, but enough to show annoyance. "Your cooperation is not optional, primitive ones. The collective requires study samples of your species." The bridge went quiet. Study samples. They weren't asking for help. This was a trap. Power surged from their ship. Anna yelled. "They're charging weapons." Mark's training kicked in instantly. "Shields up. Full power to engines. Get us out of here. The Curiosity's engines roared to life, but before they could turn, a purple beam shot from the alien ship, hitting their starboard side. The whole ship shook. Shields at 60%. Someone shouted, "They're trying to disable our engines." Mark gripped his chair as another blast rocked the ship. These aliens, this collective, had seriously underestimated humanity's ability to fight back. "Return fire. Target their weapon systems," Mark ordered. The Curiosity might be an exploration vessel, but she had teeth. The ship's guns came to life, sending bright pulses of energy toward the alien vessel. The shots hit, but seemed to do little damage against their advanced shields. "Their technology is too advanced," James said, fear creeping into his voice. "Our weapons barely scratched them." Mark's mind raced. Advanced technology wasn't everything. Sometimes the old ways worked best. "Engineering. Can we vent the cargo hold?" "Yes, sir, but we'll lose all our spare supplies." "Better than losing the ship. On my mark, vent everything in Bay 3, and get ready to fire our mining charges." The crew looked at him like he was crazy. Mining charges were just industrial explosives they used for collecting mineral samples. But right now, crazy might be their only chance. As the alien ship moved in for another attack, Mark waited. The timing had to be perfect. "Now, vent the bay." The cargo bay doors opened, sending hundreds of supply crates tumbling into space, right into the alien ship's path. At the same time, they launched their mining charges, hiding them among the debris. The alien ship's shields easily deflected the crates, just as Mark had expected. But they weren't the real threat. When the mining charges detonated, they created a massive electromagnetic pulse, something the aliens apparently hadn't expected. Their purple shields flickered and died. Direct hit to their power systems. Anna reported excitedly. "Their shields are down." The alien ship began to turn away, its movements suddenly less smooth, more desperate. The voice came back over their comms, but this time it sounded different, almost shocked. "Warning. Human vessel displaying Class 7 combat tactics. Updating threat assessment. Tactical retreat advised." The alien ship's engines flared bright purple, and then it was gone, jumping into whatever form of faster-than-light travel they used. The bridge was quiet for a moment before breaking into cheers. They had done it. A supposedly primitive human ship had just fought off an advanced alien vessel. But Mark wasn't celebrating. He knew this wasn't over. The aliens had called themselves the Collective, and something told him they wouldn't take this defeat lightly. "Set course for Earth, maximum speed," he ordered. "We need to warn everyone. The galaxy just got a lot more dangerous." As the Curiosity turned toward home, Mark stared at the spot where the alien ship had vanished. Humanity had just had its first hostile contact with an alien species, and they had proven one thing: being technologically advanced didn't make you invincible. Sometimes the most dangerous species were the ones you underestimated. The real war hadn't even started yet. The emergency meeting room at Earth's Space Command was packed. Military leaders from every major nation sat around the large table, their faces grim as they watched the recording from the Curiosity's encounter. Captain Mark Thompson stood at the front of the room, waiting as the video ended with the alien ship's retreat. "That's everything," Mark said, his voice tired after the 3-day emergency flight back to Earth. "The Collective, as they call themselves, are clearly hostile and technologically advanced. And they're coming." General Robert Banks, the head of Space Command, stood up. His weathered face showed no fear, only determination. "How much time do we have, Captain?" "Based on their ship's capabilities, I'd say weeks at most. They called us primitive, but that just means they underestimate us. We can use that." The room burst into discussion. Some wanted to try peaceful contact again. Others demanded immediate military action. The argument grew louder until a sharp whistle cut through the noise. Everyone turned to look at Admiral Helen Wells, her gray hair pulled back in a tight bun. "We don't have time to argue," she said firmly. Captain Thompson's crew beat one of their ships using mining explosives and quick thinking. That's what humanity does best. We adapt, we improvise, and we survive. The room grew quiet as her words sank in. She was right. Throughout history, humans had faced overwhelming odds and won through creativity and determination. "What do you suggest, Admiral?" General Banks asked. "We bring everything we have. Not just our space fleet. I'm talking about every trick, every tactic we've learned from thousands of years of warfare on Earth." The collective thinks we're primitive. Let's show them why primitive can be deadly. Over the next 2 weeks, Earth prepared for war. Space Command transformed cargo ships into trap-laden battleships. Old nuclear missiles were modified for space combat. Every nation shared their military secrets, knowing that humanity's survival was more important than old rivalries. The Curiosity, now repaired and upgraded, patrolled the outer edges of the solar system with other scout ships. Mark stood at his familiar spot on the bridge, but things were different now. His exploration vessel had new weapons, and his crew wore combat uniforms instead of science gear. "Contact." Anna's voice cut through the quiet bridge. Multiple ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel. "It's them." The main screen lit up, showing not one but 50 collective ships, their purple engines glowing against the darkness of space. They were bigger than before, clearly built for war. "All ships, battle positions," Mark ordered through the fleet comm. "Remember the plan. Let them think they have us outgunned." The same cold, mechanical voice from before filled their communications. "Primitive human fleet detected. Surrender now and submit to collective authority. Resistance will result in destruction." Mark smiled. They still hadn't learned. "This is Captain Thompson. We remember you. How's your ship after our last meeting?" There was a pause before the voice returned, a hint of anger in its artificial tone. "Your previous victory was an anomaly. You face the full might of the collective now. Your primitive weapons cannot harm our fleet." "We'll see about that," Mark muttered. Then louder, "All ships, execute Operation Stone Age." The human fleet scattered, seemingly in panic. The collective ships moved forward, their formation perfect, their weapons charging, but they had fallen for the trap. Hidden in the asteroid belt, hundreds of modified mining drones activated. Each one carried a simple but deadly payload. Chunks of metal accelerated to incredible speeds. The same technology humans used to mine asteroids was now a weapon. The first wave of drones struck the collective fleet from behind. Their advanced shields were designed to stop energy weapons, not solid objects moving at near-light speed. 3 alien ships erupted in flames before they knew what hit them. "Primitive weapons, Mark said to himself as chaos erupted among the alien fleet. "All ships, attack pattern Delta. Show them how Earth fights." The human fleet struck from multiple directions. They had studied the recording of the first battle carefully. The collective relied too much on their advanced technology. They didn't expect simple tactics like playing dead and ambushing. They didn't think humans would use their own ships as weapons, ramming into the alien vessels when all else failed. The space around Earth's orbit turned into a graveyard of broken ships. The collective's perfect formation fell apart as they tried to deal with attacks coming from everywhere. Their advanced AI couldn't predict the seemingly crazy maneuvers of human pilots. "Sir," James called out, "the enemy fleet is falling back. They're retreating." The bridge crew watched as the remaining collective ships turned away, their formation shattered. More than half their fleet was destroyed or damaged. The voice came one last time over their comms. "Warning. Humans displaying unprecedented combat capabilities. Tactical analysis failed. Strategic withdrawal required. Threat level maximum." As the alien ships disappeared into faster-than-light travel, cheers erupted across the human fleet. They had won their first major space battle against a superior force. But in the quiet of the Curiosity's bridge, Mark knew this was just the beginning. "Send word to Earth," he ordered. "The collective will be back, and they won't underestimate us next time. We need to be ready. Admiral Wells' voice came over the fleet channel. All ships, well done. Today we showed them something important. Humanity isn't just another species to be conquered. We're the species that turns mining tools into weapons. The species that uses thousand-year-old battle tactics in space. The species that fights harder the more you push us. Mark looked out at the debris field that was once a mighty alien fleet. Humanity had sent a clear message to the galaxy. Technological superiority wasn't everything. Sometimes the most dangerous species was the one that remembered its primitive roots, the one that never stopped fighting to survive. The warning shot had been fired. Now the real war would begin. 3 months after humanity's first victory, the collective returned. This time, they came with thousands of ships, filling Earth's skies with their purple glow. But Earth was ready. The time bought by their first victory had been used well. Lieutenant Jane Walker crouched in the darkness of her small stealth ship, watching the massive alien fleet through her viewport. She and her team of 5 were part of Earth's new Special Space Operations Unit, trained to fight in ways the collective would never expect. Remember, Jane whispered to her team, these aliens think technology solves everything. They don't expect anyone to board their ships with simple tools. Ready? Her team nodded, checking their magnetic boots and simple mechanical tools one last time. No fancy energy weapons. Those would be detected. Instead, they carried basic cutting tools and old-style mechanical devices that the alien sensors ignored. Their small ship drifted silently toward one of the larger collective vessels, looking like just another piece of space debris. The alien ship's purple shields hummed, designed to stop energy weapons and high-speed objects, but not slow-moving metal that looked like garbage. Contact in 3, 2, 1. Jane counted down as their ship gently touched the alien vessel's hull. The magnetic locks engaged silently. Using simple mechanical drills, technology so old the aliens didn't even think to scan for it, they cut through the outer hull. Jane's team had studied the alien ship designs from the wreckage of their previous battle. They knew exactly where to cut. Inside the alien ship, alarms stayed silent. The collective's advanced AI didn't register the primitive intrusion method as a threat. Their first warning came when Jane's team reached the ship's main power core. "Look at this," whispered Tom, the team's engineer. "All this fancy technology, but they never thought someone would just walk in and pull out the wires." Jane smiled beneath her helmet. "Do it." Tom pulled out a simple pair of mechanical cutters, the kind you could buy in any hardware store on Earth. With a few quick cuts, he severed the main power lines to the ship's AI core. Chaos erupted immediately. The alien crew, so dependent on their AI, didn't know how to react when their systems suddenly went dark. Emergency lights kicked in, but the ship's weapons, shields, and communication systems were dead. "Phase 2, Jane ordered, pulling out their next simple but effective weapon. Smoke grenades. Not the modern kind with smart targeting, just basic smoke and chemicals. The alien crew, used to fighting with advanced targeting systems and energy weapons, had no defense against the thick smoke filling their corridors. Their environmental systems, designed to handle radiation and space vacuum, didn't know what to do with simple smoke. "Bridge secured," crackled over Jane's radio. Half her team had taken control of the ship's command center while the aliens were still trying to understand what was happening. "Engine room secured," came another report. "You should see their faces, Lieutenant. They can't believe we're beating them with hardware store tools." Jane made her way to the bridge, where the alien crew stood with their hands raised, their large eyes wide with confusion. Their captain, tall and blue-skinned, spoke through a translator. "This is impossible," it said. "Your species is primitive. Your tools are ancient. How did you defeat our security?" "That's your problem," Jane replied, securing the alien captain. "You forgot that sometimes the old ways work best. Your eye can't stop what it doesn't understand." Across space, similar scenes played out as other human teams boarded collective ships. The aliens had prepared for high-tech battles, for advanced cyber warfare. They weren't ready for humans who could think without computers, who could fight without advanced targeting systems. In orbit above Earth, the main battle raged. The Collective's massive fleet fired energy weapons at Earth's ships, but found their targeting systems confused by simple chaff. Bits of metal scattered in space, an old naval warfare trick now used among the stars. Captain Mark Thompson, watching from the Curiosity, saw Jane's captured ship turn its weapons on other Collective vessels. More and more alien ships went dark as human boarding teams did their work. "Sir," James called from his station, "the Collective fleet is in chaos. Their formation is breaking apart." Mark watched as the mighty alien armada began to crumble. Without their AI to coordinate them, without their advanced systems to guide them, they were losing to humans using tactics from centuries of warfare on Earth. The Collective's remaining ships began to retreat, their perfect formation now a scrambling mess. But humanity wasn't finished. The captured ships, now under human control, opened fire on their former fleet. "Message from Earth Command," James announced. "They're saying, 'Let them run. Let them tell the others.'" Mark nodded. This wasn't just about winning the battle. It was about sending a message to any other alien species thinking of attacking Earth. As the last Collective ships disappeared into faster-than-light travel, James' voice came over the general channel. "All boarding teams report success. We've captured 30 of their ships. Engineering teams are already studying their technology." The bridge crew of the Curiosity cheered. Humanity hadn't just survived. They had turned the aliens' own ships against them using nothing but simple tools and clever thinking. "Send word to all ships," Mark ordered. "The first wave is over, but stay alert. The Collective just learned that humans aren't just dangerous because of what we can build. We're dangerous because we remember every trick, every tactic, every hard lesson we've learned since our species first picked up a stone as a weapon." As the fleet regrouped, Earth's soldiers celebrated their victory. They had proved something important. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't in our technology, but in our ability to use everything, from the newest starship to the oldest combat tactics, to defend our home. The Collective had come expecting to fight primitives. Instead, they learned that sometimes the most primitive solutions were the deadliest of all. Tom Reed stood in the captured alien ship's engine room, his hands covered in grease from working with human tools on alien machinery. As Earth's lead engineer for the reverse engineering project, he had spent the last month learning everything he could about the Collective's technology. What he found made him smile. "They overthink everything," he said to his team of engineers. "Look at this engine. It's all controlled by AI, all automated. But underneath, it's just a machine. And we know machines." The engineering bay was filled with a mix of alien technology and human tools. Computers taken from old tractors now controlled massive alien engines. Simple mechanical switches replaced complex AI systems. What the Collective had built with advanced technology, humans rebuilt with basic engineering. "Sir," called one of his engineers, "we got the weapons system working without their AI. Just used an old targeting computer from a farming drone. It's not as accurate, but it works." Tom nodded, making notes on his paper notebook, something the aliens found horribly primitive. But paper couldn't be hacked, and pencils never needed charging. "Good work. How many ships have we converted?" 25 so far. The other 5 are too damaged, but we're stripping them for parts." Warning sirens suddenly blared throughout the station. Tom grabbed the nearest communication panel. "Engineering to command. What's happening?" "Long-range sensors just picked up a massive Collective fleet," came the response. "Bigger than anything we've seen before. They'll be here in 6 hours. Tom looked at his team. "Okay, people, this is what we've been preparing for. Get every converted ship ready for battle. And bring in the special project." The special project was humanity's secret weapon. After studying the alien technology, Tom had figured out how to combine it with Earth's primitive weapons in ways the Collective would never expect. On the Curiosity's bridge, Captain Mark Thompson watched the incoming alien fleet on his screen. "How many?" Over 5,000 ships, Anna replied from her station. Sir, they've upgraded their shields. Our old tricks won't work this time. Mark smiled. Good thing we have new tricks. Status of Operation Hybrid. All converted ships are in position. Lieutenant Walker's teams are ready. And Engineer Reed reports the special project is good to go. The bridge crew worked quickly, preparing for battle. This time, they weren't just fighting with captured alien ships. They were fighting with something new, human innovation mixed with alien technology. Lieutenant Jane Walker checked her new hybrid suit one last time. It looked like a mess of alien metal and human parts, but it worked better than either technology alone. Her boarding teams now carried weapons that combined simple gunpowder with alien energy cells. Remember, she told her teams over the radio, they've upgraded their security against our old tricks. But they're still thinking like machines. We think like humans. The collective fleet appeared in a flash of purple light. Their ships were different now, bigger, with stronger shields and more weapons. Their message boomed across all channels. Humans, your primitive tactics have been analyzed and countered. Surrender now. Admiral Wells, commanding the human fleet from her flagship, sent back a simple reply. Come and get us. The battle began. The collective ships fired their improved weapons, expecting the human fleet to break apart. Instead, the Earth ships charged forward together, like ancient cavalry into battle. Tom Reed watched from his engineering station as his special project went into action. The human fleet had a new weapon, computerized systems that acted randomly on purpose. The collective's AI couldn't predict what the humans would do because the humans themselves didn't know until the moment they did it. Their AI is confused, someone shouted over the battle channel. They can't track our movements. The collective's perfect formation started to break as human ships darted between their lines. James' boarding teams launched from their carriers, their hybrid suits letting them slip through the improved alien shields. They protected against our old tools, Jane reported as her team cut into an alien ship. So we made new ones. The battle raged across Earth's orbit. Human ships, both original and converted alien vessels, fought with a mix of technologies that the collective had never seen before. Old nuclear missiles fitted with alien propulsion systems. Simple radio signals that confused advanced AI targeting. Mechanical tools combined with energy weapons. Their flagship is falling back, Anna reported from the Curiosity sensor station. They're trying to regroup. Mark watched as the massive alien fleet struggled against human unpredictability. They still don't get it. They think upgrading their technology is enough. They forgot that humans have been upgrading our tactics for thousands of years. Tom's voice came over the command channel. All ships, this is engineering. Special project is ready for full deployment. Activate hybrid drives. Now. Across the human fleet, ships suddenly changed their movement patterns. The hybrid drives, combining alien speed with human-controlled chaos, made their ships move in ways that broke every rule of space combat. The collective's targeting computers couldn't handle it. Their AI is overloading, Jane reported from inside an alien vessel. They never thought we'd deliberately make our ships move wrong. The collective fleet began to fall apart. Their improved shields couldn't stop weapons they couldn't predict. Their advanced AI couldn't fight an enemy that chose chaos over perfection. Message from the collective flagship. James announced on the Curiosity's bridge. They're asking for terms of surrender. The battle paused as Admiral Wells responded. Unconditional withdrawal. Never return to Earth space, and spread the word. Humanity isn't just dangerous because we can capture your ships or copy your technology. We're dangerous because we make it our own, and we make it work in ways you never imagined. The alien fleet retreated, leaving behind their damaged ships and their broken pride. As the human fleet regrouped, Tom Reed looked at his notebook full of sketches combining alien and human technology. They thought upgrading their shields would stop us, he said to his team. They didn't understand that humans don't just adapt to new threats. We take them apart, learn from them, and build something better. The victory was more than just a battle won. It was proof that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in copying advanced technology, but in making it work in new ways, ways that no purely logical species could predict. As the crews celebrated, everyone knew the galaxy would never look at Earth the same way again. 1 month after their last defeat, the collective made their final move. This time, they brought their entire fleet, over 10,000 ships darkening Earth's skies. But Earth had been busy too, preparing for this moment. Every lesson learned, every battle fought, had led to this day. Captain Mark Thompson stood on the Curiosity's bridge, but his ship looked very different now. Human innovation had transformed the exploration vessel into something new, a perfect blend of Earth's creativity and alien technology. Around his ship, the combined human fleet waited. They had fewer ships than the collective, but numbers weren't everything. "All stations report," Mark ordered, his voice calm despite the massive alien fleet ahead. "Engineering ready," Tom Reed reported from his station. "All hybrid systems are working. They won't expect what we've done with their technology." "Boarding teams standing by," Lieutenant Jane Walker added. "Every team is equipped with the new hybrid suits and weapons." Admiral Wells's voice came over the fleet channel. "Remember, everyone, this isn't just about Earth anymore. The entire galaxy is watching. Today we show them why humanity isn't just another species to conquer." The collective's message boomed across space. "Humans, you have corrupted our pure technology with your primitive modifications. This offense cannot stand. Prepare for extinction." "They still don't get it, do they?" Mark said to his crew. "They think pure technology is what matters. Show them how wrong they are." All ships, battle formation Alpha. The human fleet moved as one, but not in the perfect patterns the collective expected. Each ship followed its own random course while still working together. Organized chaos that no eye could predict. Tom's voice filled the command channel. "Activating the final project now." Across the human fleet, ships suddenly changed. What looked like normal vessels transformed, panels shifting and weapons appearing from hidden bays. The collective had copied Earth's old weapons, but humans had learned to make those old weapons do impossible things. Nuclear missiles launched, Anna reported from her station, but not like any nukes they've seen before. The missiles streaked across space, their paths random and unpredictable. When the collective's ships shot them down, the missiles split into hundreds of smaller weapons, each one carrying a mix of Earth explosives and alien energy cells. "They're trying to adapt," James shouted as the alien fleet's formation shifted. "Their AI is changing tactics." "Too late," Mark smiled. "Lieutenant Walker, you're up." Jane's boarding teams launched from their hidden positions. Their hybrid suits, built from stolen alien metal but powered by simple human batteries, slipped through the gaps in the collective's defenses. The aliens had prepared for high-tech attacks or primitive tools, but not both at once. "We're inside their command ship," Jane reported. "They never thought we'd combine their shield technology with old-style grappling hooks." The battle exploded across Earth's orbit. Human ships darted between the massive alien vessels, firing weapons that switched randomly between simple projectiles and energy beams. The collective's AI couldn't keep up with weapons that changed their very nature between shots. Tom's engineering teams had worked miracles. They hadn't just copied alien technology. They had made it work in ways the collective never imagined. Simple computer viruses carried on physical cards slipped into alien systems by boarding teams. Old radio signals mixed with alien communication channels, turning the collective's own orders into nonsense. "Their fleet is splitting up," Anna called out. "They're losing coordination." The collective's massive fleet started to break apart. Their ships, too dependent on AI and unable to think for themselves, couldn't handle human unpredictability. When their computers failed, their crews didn't know what to do. "Message from their command ship," James reported. They're asking why their own technology turns against them." Mark took a deep breath. Send them this, because we understand something you don't. Technology isn't meant to be pure, it's meant to be useful. And humans will use anything, combine everything, to survive. The battle reached its peak as Earth's combined fleet struck from all sides. Ships that looked primitive suddenly revealed advanced weapons. Weapons that seemed advanced turned out to be simple explosives with alien power sources. Every time the collective adapted to one tactic, humans switched to another. Their command ship is dark. Jane's voice came through. We've taken their bridge. Their admiral. He wants to surrender. Admiral Wells's voice filled all channels. To all collective ships, your command is captured. Your AI systems are compromised. Surrender now or face destruction from weapons you don't understand, used in ways you can't predict. One by one, the alien ships went quiet. The mighty collective, with all their advanced technology and perfect AI, had been defeated by humans who weren't afraid to mix the old with the new, the simple with the advanced. In the days that followed, the galaxy changed. The collective's surrender wasn't just to Earth. It was an admission that technological superiority alone wasn't enough. Other alien species, watching from afar, saw a new truth. Humans weren't just another primitive species climbing towards the stars. They were something unique, a species that remembered every step of their evolution, every trick they learned, and used it all together. Mark stood in the Curiosity's observation room, watching Earth below. His ship, like humanity itself, had evolved. Simple metal panels covered advanced alien sensors. Old-style manual controls operated hybrid engines. It wasn't pure, wasn't perfect, but it worked better than anything the collective had ever built. Message from Earth Command, James called. The collective fleet has left our galaxy. They're spreading the word to other species. Earth is not to be threatened. Admiral Wells made one final broadcast to the fleet. Remember this day, not just because we won, but because we proved something. Humanity isn't dangerous because we're advanced. We're dangerous because we never forget our roots. Every step we took, from stone tools to starships, taught us something, and we use it all. As the human fleet turned toward home, the galaxy had learned its lesson. Earth wasn't just another world to conquer. It was the home of a species that turned its entire history into a weapon. A species that saw technology not as something pure to worship, but as tools to adapt and combine. The day humanity showed the galaxy they were the most dangerous species wasn't just about winning a war. It was about showing the universe that true strength isn't in forgetting your past as you advance, but in remembering every lesson, using every tool, and never being afraid to mix the primitive with the advanced. The stars seemed brighter that day, as if they too had gained a new respect for the species that dared to break the rules of proper technology. Humanity had earned its place among them, not by becoming pure and advanced, but by staying true to what made them unique. The ability to learn from everything, use anything, and survive no matter what.